This is WISN 12 News with breaking news.
Right now at 8, we are following another deadly mass shooting. This time, it's in our area. Police say at least 5 people were shot, 3 of them killed at Summers House Tavern in Kenosha County. A public safety alert went out around 4 this morning, asking people to avoid the area near Sheridan Road and 15th Place as the investigation is still active. Early this morning, a heavy police presence on the scene, and the suspect right now is still at large. Let's get straight to Hannah Hilliard. She leads off our team coverage this morning. Hannah, what are you learning?
Well, Shernay, I have that bar right behind me here on Sheridan Road in the village of Summers in Kenosha County. And you can see still a very active police presence out here this morning. Now, police say that this shooter actually was at the bar earlier in the night, and management asked that person to leave. He returns a short time later, and that's when the shooting unfolded both inside and outside of this tavern here in the village of Summers. Now, police say that 3 people were killed and 2 are seriously injured here. They believe it was targeted, but they have not described any sort of relationship among those victims or among the shooter. They are still looking for this shooter, and they say there could be multiple shooters. Take a listen.
I'm not ruling out that there could be more than one person. I know that there was a confrontation, obviously, inside the building, and I believe in the, just outside the building there was also another confrontation with gunfire. So there could be more than one, absolutely.
Heard 3 shots go off, ran to the window, heard more shots on my way to the window, and then I just see people running every direction, this way, that way, any way they possibly could.
Now, that witness and the sheriff both say that this was busy last night or overnight when this shooting unfolded. That witness says that he saw maybe 50 people running in different directions, leaving this tavern early this morning. Now, police did send out a reverse 911 to everyone here in the area. They say that there was an active shooter. Right now, they do not believe that there is a threat to the public, and that is because they believe this was a targeted incident, but they are still asking people to avoid the area. Shernay.
All right, Hannah. Thank you. Matt Salemi right now is live in News Chopper 12 above the scene. Matt, what are you seeing?
Yeah, we're watching the investigators. You can see they're looking at right now, focusing on a deck on the back of on the back and the side of the bar. There's a couple dozen evidence markers down on that deck. Looks like they're looking for more evidence at this point. At one point, I saw them starting to reference out in the street as well. So I kind of follow where they were pointing, and I noticed there's more evidence markers that lead down the street here across the way. You can see a couple dozen more. So it looks like there may have been shots coming from the street level as well as back on that deck there. They've got a lot of investigating left to do. They have the Wisconsin Department of Justice crime scene unit as well as the Kenosha County Sheriff's Department crime scene unit here working together, trying to piece it all out and figure out exactly what went down. They're staging right now on Sheridan. It's shut down between Carthage College and County Highway E, so avoid the area.
All right, Matt, thank you. We, of course, will continue to follow this ongoing investigation. For all the latest updates, just head to our website, WISN.com. But as police right now in Kenosha respond to one mass shooting, the investigation into last week's mass casualty shooting in Indiana continues. The community members there came together to remember the 8 victims shot and killed at a FedEx facility on Thursday night. Half of them were members of the Sikh community. As ABC's Karina Mitchell shows us, the alleged shooter's family is now offering their sincerest apologies to the victims.
Solemn moments in Indianapolis. 2 separate vigils honoring the victims of another mass shooting.
Show empathy, show love. We must support one another, not just in grief, but in calling our policymakers and elected officials to make meaningful change.
Police say 19-year-old Brandon Hall, a former FedEx employee, killed 8 people at a FedEx facility late Thursday, wounding 5 others before taking his own life. Police now say he legally bought 2 assault rifles he was seen using during the shooting. The suspect's family releasing a statement saying they're devastated at the loss of life, offering their sincerest apologies to the victims and saying they tried to get Hall the help he needed. Half of the victims are members of the local Sikh community, like 66-year-old Amarjeet Tracy Johal.
I posted her picture everywhere because she's not going to be a statistic. She has a story. She's a person.
The victims' ages range from 19 to 74 years old. Among the youngest, Samaria Blackwell.
She has 2 older brothers and 1 older sister, and so she was the baby. She was just exploring her options as a young 19-year-old might do, just having graduated last year, so life was certainly ahead of her.
2 other victims from the same family.
It is hard because you know that you're not going to see that person again.
Police are still unsure of the suspect's motive, but a spokesman for the Sikh community is pointing to the victims and fears his neighbors were directly targeted.
Fear is of the unknown, and people do not know about us because of our appearance, about what we wear, and beard and turban, and that's why most of the time we are the victim of hate crime.
This is the 3rd mass shooting this year in Indianapolis. Karina Mitchell, ABC News, New York.
The Sikh Temple of Wisconsin is reaching out to Indianapolis. They posted a message on Facebook yesterday asking for strength for the victims' families. Unfortunately, they are no strangers to violence like this. You may remember a gunman attacked the Oak Creek Temple in August of 2012. Right now, the front page of the temple's website still shows pictures of the 6 people who died that day. Well, you know, it has been a difficult morning, and sometimes you can look to the skies for a little peace, a little calm. Let's take a live look outside right now. Partly cloudy out there, but we are expecting some sunshine to peek through. Let's get straight to meteorologist Molly Bernard in the Weather Center. Good morning.
Good morning. There is a lot of cloud cover out there right now. Still, our temperatures are climbing pretty quickly in Milwaukee already. We're at 45 degrees. We were down in the mid-30s earlier. Upper 30s, low 40s off towards our west. As we head towards the afternoon, we are going to see the lake breeze kick in just a little bit, so it'll be cooler by the lake again later on today. 45 degrees in Racine right now, mostly cloudy skies, but depending on where you are, there's a few breaks in those cloud cover. A lot of activity already at Elkhart Lake this morning. Temperatures there close to about 38 degrees, but we are going to warm up. So temperatures close to about 40 degrees near the lake right now. So we head towards the lunch hour. We're in the mid-50s. That's where we'll stay by the lake by 3 o'clock this afternoon. Further inland, you can expect temperatures in the 60s. Enjoy it, though. Big changes tomorrow. All time out a cold front and snow chances just ahead.
All right, Molly, thank you. I'll check back in with you in a bit. On to coronavirus coverage now. This morning, a devastating milestone in the pandemic. 3 million people have died, and more than 566,000 of them were from the United States. But the fight continues. More than 3.8 million doses of the vaccine has been administered in Wisconsin. Over a quarter of Wisconsin residents are fully vaccinated, and nearly 40% have received at least 1 dose. Health officials continue urging people to get vaccinated. 12 News reporter Courtney Sisk caught up with some people who got their vaccine this weekend.
There are still people who are still looking to get a vaccine.
But vaccine distribution at the Wisconsin Center is hitting a plateau.
It looks like it's really slow in there.
Health leaders say those most eager to get vaccinated likely already have. Now they need to draw in others.
Now we're seeing this sort of middle of the road. There's about 20 to 30% of the population says, I'll get vaccinated when it's convenient, when I have time to get vaccinated. I am planning to get vaccinated, but I just haven't quite. It's not my greatest priority. I'm not going to take a day off of work or take time off or go out of my way to get it.
And Wisconsin residents receiving their first dose this weekend fit the mold.
What was it that kind of drew you in?
Finding a place that I can schedule outside of work so I didn't have to take time off to go somewhere during the workday because I work a lot. So having like weekend availability here, finding that out was really helpful.
Everybody I work with got vaccinated. I don't want to be the only one not getting vaccinated.
Most of my coworkers and friends are getting it, so I figured I'd get it too.
The walk-in availability at the Wisconsin Center is another last-minute draw.
Everyone's schedule is different, and dealing with families and everything at home, I think it's really important that offering walk-ins, I think, honestly, would make a big difference at this point.
In Milwaukee, Courtney Sisk, WISN 12 News.
You can make an appointment or just walk in to get your vaccine at the Wisconsin Center. Site coordinators say there are no wait times and parking is free. Milwaukee's Destiny High School held a vaccine clinic yesterday. Barriers like distance to clinics make it tough for some people to get their shot. And this clinic helped reach more people experiencing those barriers. Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes toured the site pushing for vaccine equity.
We know the lack of access to transportation, paid time off, childcare, broadband, these are all factors that contribute to these gaps. So it's not just the vaccine itself. There are structural changes that we have to be diligent in addressing.
Destiny High School will have a second vaccine clinic at the same location next month. You can find where you can get your vaccine and links to book an appointment along with answers to vaccine-related questions on our website, wisn.com/vaccine. On to the latest coronavirus numbers now. Yesterday, state health officials reported 727 new cases and 8 more COVID-related deaths. Time right now, 8:10, and on to developing news. Dodge County deputies say a man and a teenage boy are dead after an apparent murder-suicide. It happened inside a house yesterday near Sweet Briar and Country Lane in Watertown. Deputies say evidence shows the 52-year-old killed the 16-year-old, then killed himself. A neighbor who saw police near the house Friday night describes that community as tight-knit.
I have a daughter, same age, so of course it's very difficult, very emotional. Anytime a life is lost, it's heartbreaking, and typical thing we all say is that wouldn't happen in our community, but I think that's just changing, and it happens everywhere.
Police have not released the names of the 2 people who died or the relationship between them. A memorial flyover all in honor of a Wisconsin National Guard pilot. Air Force Captain Durwood Jones died during a training flight last December in Michigan. Yesterday's flyover in Madison happened during a memorial service. Community members came out to pay their respects.
During some of the training missions, the F-16s will fly over the house in Verona on occasion. But I just wanted to see a real nice tributable flyover with the F-15s and the F-16s.
Members of the 115th Fighter Wing and 123rd Fighter Squadron flew into a missing man formation over Truax Field. Time right now, 8:12. As we head to break, we are following breaking news. Reports of another mass shooting at a tavern near Kenosha. Anna Hilliard has live updates after the break.
And this afternoon, temperatures are in the 50s and the 60s, but I'm tracking snow chances for Tuesday. I'll time out that potential just ahead.